Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today we're beginning a series on another third-party book. One of those books that has been created for 5th edition use, but doesn't fall under the official Wizards of the Coast umbrella. And it's a very, very well-known third-party module that's been around for many years. Humblewood. Humblewood is a low-level adventure for people that want to play in an animal campaign. But rather than simply just using the races of D&D and giving them animal, skins, effectively, they've actually created several new races in this book that function as independent creatures. These are creatures that have well-balanced and well-written mechanics that could easily be implemented in a normal D&D campaign. And I'm going to be reviewing them over the next few weeks. Today we're starting with a birdfolk race that comes from Humblewood called the Corvum. And this is very clearly based on corvids, so ravens and crows and rooks and other birds that are of particularly high intelligence. The details of the Corvum and their abilities we'll get into in just a moment, but before we do, I'd like to let you know, Relax Fantasy Review has memberships. For just $1 a month, you can support me here on YouTube and get a couple benefits. First, you get a little badge next to your name in the comments, letting folks know that you're a supporter. But also you get early access to my videos. I upload videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I upload them a day early for members only. If that interests you, you can click the join button just below the video down there. I'd love to see you in the comments. And if it doesn't interest you, that's totally fine. Just being here, watching the video, and liking and subscribing is a great way to support me. So thank you very much. So Corvums start off with a standardized ASI. Now, obviously the rules in Tasha's say we can mix and match these as we wish, but considering this book was written before Tasha's came out, I figured that, we would stick with the original numbers, just like I did in the Player's Handbook series all those years ago. The standard ASI improvement for a Corvum is a +2 to their intelligence. And intelligence is the most niche of the 6 ability scores to improve because it's only specifically for wizards and artificers, and a couple specific skills. So I give that a 7 out of 10. They are a medium-sized creature, however, and of the 2 sizes you can be, I consider that one the superior one, just for mechanical purposes, so 10 out of 10 for that. And they have a 30-foot walking speed, just like most creatures. Nothing wrong with that, 9 out of 10. Then they have a gliding feature. I mentioned that they were bird folk, but they actually don't have the ability to fly, like the Owlin or the Aarakocra do. Now, obviously, in recent days, that has become a little more of a thing in D&D for a race to have flying. So it wouldn't break the game to give it to them, but the gliding feature's not bad either. You can, when you fall, spread your wings, and it stops you from taking any fall damage. And you can move your movement speed as long as you fall at least 10 feet vertically. So it gives you an ability to maneuver yourself in the battlefield quite a bit and give you some extra aerial ability. You can't do this if you're wearing heavy armor, but other than that, you can do it just fine. So yeah, I think this is a fantastic ability to have as a racial, and I say it's 10 out of 10. It's not as good as actual flight, but I'd say it's still really, really good. You also have unarmed strike improvement with your talons. They only do a d4 damage. This is before the standard talon damage was changed to 1d6. It's still nice, it's just not as good as it could be. And you have advantage on climbing checks on surfaces that you could reasonably dig your talons into. So that's not bad. I say that's a 7 out of 10 feature. It would have been a little higher if the damage was 1d6, but here we are. Then you have the learned feature, and you get to choose one of the 4 studious skills: Arcana, Nature, History, and Religion. Pick one of those, you gain proficiency in it. Any one of these is handy. I'd personally take Arcana, but any of them can be good for whatever type of intellectual you're trying to build. I say 8 out of 10 for the skill proficiency. Then you gain the ability Appraising Eye. This allows you to effectively use the Identify spell on something by using your special eyes to look at an object and appraise its value, its history, information about it, etc. You can do this once per rest, so once per short rest you can do this. And yeah, it's just a really, really cool little action that you can use in a pinch. I think that free use of a first level spell like that once per short rest is worth 9 out of 10. It's solid. The world of Humblewood doesn't have the language common exactly, but the effective common language is bird folk. They are the dominant race of the world. And so the Corvum speak bird folk, which is the speaking common, which is just a single language. And that's unfortunate that they're not bilingual or trilingual like most races in D&D. So I'm going to knock them down a point there and say that that is a 7 out of 10 feature. We're doing all right, some good, some decent, and now we've got 2 sub-races to pick from. The first sub-race is the Dusk Corvum. This grants them their extra +1, and in this case it's to Dexterity, one of the best stats in the game. The +1 to Dex, in my books, gets an 8 out of 10. Then they get a Skulker trait. This is not the Skulker feat, it's the Skulker trait, and it grants them advantage on stealth checks when they are in dim light or darkness. This is a solid feature. Stealth is one of the best things, and it plays very well into the Dusk Corvum kind of feel, and it's just mechanically solid, and I say 9 out of 10. The other thing they gain is the Street Smarts ability. This gives them the Insight skill proficiency, so that's 2 skill proficiencies they have total, and I'd say Insight's better than the intelligence-based skills. I say 9 out of 10 for that. And the Dusk Corvum overall is an 8 out of 10. A solid little race. But then we have the Kindled Corvum. So they don't get the stealth advantage of the insight or the dexterity. The Kindled Corvum get something a little different. First, their ASI gives them a +1 to Charisma, the other top tier ability score other than Dex, so that's another 8 out of 10 for a +1 there. Then they gain a skill proficiency in either Persuasion or Deception, their choice. These are 2 of the best skills in the game, and with the +1 to Charisma, they're going to be super good. And you even get advantage on convincing people that you know what you're talking about the intelligence-based skills, Arcana, History, Nature, and Religion. Even if you don't have proficiency in one of them, like, because you'll have proficiency in at least one from your Corvum race, but you can, using your Persuasion or Deception, convince people you know what you're talking about with advantage on the other ones. So that's a really, really nice buff to your intelligence-based discussions, and to your deception especially. I think that combining the skill proficiency with that advantage, this is a 10 out of 10 feature and is really, really nice for role-playing that smooth talker. Throw this on a Eloquence Bard and you are off to the races. The other thing you get is the Sharp Mind feature, which resembles the Keen Mind feat, in the sense that you get perfect recall. You can accurately remember anything that you've seen or heard in the past month, which can be really nice for roleplay purposes, although DMs might get a headache when you try to remember any little specific thing. And you also gain a proficiency in another language and a tool of your choice. Tool proficiencies can be really, really nice if you pick the right one. Go for Thieves or Tinker or the Disguise Kit. And adding that extra language on there just pushes this Sharp Mind feature up into the 10 out of 10 region. I think it is very, very solid. And what this does is it takes the Kindled Corvum and pushes them up into the 9 out of 10 range. I think it's the superior of the Corvums, but obviously that's up to you. Do you want to play the stealthy, insightful, dexterous Corvid, or do you want to play the smooth-talking, intelligent, and skilled, charismatic Corvid? Both of them are possible. Whatever you imagine the Raven to be, you can be that. And I think that this race is a solid choice for anyone who's really trying to build into this birdfolk thing, and the Corvids are their dream. So if that is something you're interested in, the Humblewood book is something that I highly recommend checking out. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below. Have a look for the join button down there, as well as a link to a place where you can buy the Humblewood book. I highly recommend checking it out for yourself. Have a good one, my friends.